Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Easy Natural English with Liam. How are you all doing today? I hope that you're well, as usual. I always say that, but I always believe that. I hope that you're all doing well. Today, I'm going to talk about the secret to learning English, or really to learning any language, because I think there is really just one thing that you need. Just one thing that is the key component, the key ingredient, the one thing you need. Because I know when we study a language, sometimes we are thinking, what should I do? What do I need? Maybe I need to get the right book, or maybe I need to get the right teacher or the right listening material. And there's so much, there's so many options. You know, when you open YouTube, or if you look on the internet, or even on street advertisements, there are so many methods and so many systems. And there are a lot of people who say, you know, our system will teach you fluent English in 3 months, or sometimes even 1 month, or sometimes even one lesson. Of course, all of these are impossible. You know, if I could learn a language to fluency in 3 months, then now I would speak, 50 languages. Yeah, if we could learn a language completely in 3 months, we would all speak many languages. So of course this is impossible. Of course this is not true. So the one thing that is important is how much time you spend. And okay, I know you're thinking that's obvious and maybe you'll stop listening. But wait to hear what I want to say about how to use your time. Because many people, when talking about language learning, they say, I have studied for 1 year, or I have studied for 2 years. But that isn't really important, because if you study for 1 hour a week, then 2 years is not much time. You know, if you study 1 hour a day, then 2 years is now a much longer time. So really, the thing that is important is how many hours you put into study, or even how many minutes every day. How many minutes of study can you do? So I'll use myself as an example. I study Japanese. And when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I put on my headphones and I start listening to Japanese the moment I wake up. My wife is is quite slow to wake up. Usually I wake up before my wife and I make coffee, and I often make the breakfast too. So I wake up in the morning, and before I get out of bed, I reach for my headphones, put on my headphones, and I start listening to Japanese podcasts. At the moment, I've been enjoying Sandwichman, who's like a comedy duo. So I wake up and I start listening to Japanese comedy. So it's not boring, it's not, it's not somebody, some kind of learning material that's like, hello, how are you? Unnatural. It's just funny Japanese comedy. I wake up and I start listening to that. So while I'm making the coffee, while I'm making the toast or pancakes or whatever I'm making that morning, I'm getting Japanese exposure. I'm getting contact with the Japanese language. So, if you think I wake up in the morning, I make coffee, I make toast. If I don't have the headphones on, then maybe that will take me 30 minutes to make breakfast. And maybe after that, I might sit down and start reading a book in Japanese. But you see, if I have the headphones on while I make breakfast, that's an extra 30 minutes of study now. So what I want to say is important is think about your daily routine and think, how can I get more English into my day? So, of course, if you sit down and you watch a TV show in English and you're concentrating and you're searching for words as you watch it and you're really paying attention, of course, that is better quality study. That's more, that's just better study than listening while you cook. Okay. But if you can do both, that's just more study in your day. So if you have time to sit down and read a textbook, or if you have time to sit down and watch a movie in English, or if you have time to take a lesson with an English teacher like me on italki, don't forget I teach on italki. Link is in the YouTube description or the podcast description. So message me on italki, take a lesson. If you have time for those things, that's great. But if you're busy, just think, where can I get English into my day? So if you're cooking, cleaning, gardening, if you're doing these activities that don't take much brain power, they're more physical, then put on your headphones and listen to English. You can listen to my podcast, you can listen to other great English podcasts, or you can just listen to a podcast or YouTube that's made for native English speakers. They'll be more difficult, but with time, you'll just get used to the sound of English and you'll start to understand them. Then, things like reading. Every night while I brush my teeth, I usually read a Japanese comic or a Japanese book while I brush my teeth. So I'm brushing my teeth and just reading. So then every day, again, that's another, 5-10 minutes or something. So you could open your phone and you could just look at the English news, or if there's an English word that you're not quite sure of the meaning while you're brushing your teeth, just look it up. So the really important thing is time, every minute that you have, and then making it a routine. So if you wake up in the morning, start listening to English, that's a good start to your day. If you read the English news every time you eat breakfast, that's now part of your routine. If you watch English TV every time that you eat, that's so much English into your day. So that's what I do with Japanese. Every time I sit down to eat, because I find it hard to read while I'm eating, I don't know about you, but when I sit down to eat, I just open Netflix and I just start watching a TV show in Japanese. And I know that this kind of study seems difficult. Watching TV shows, watching things made for natives, but this is the real language. So in your case, English, watching a TV show, that's real English. So if you can understand 10%, that's brilliant. That's amazing, because that's 10% of the real language. If you listen to a textbook CD and you understand 100%, that's also great, well done, but it's not real English. That's not really the way that people speak. It's too clear, it's too perfect, and it just sounds very unnatural. I've been an English teacher for many years. I've heard many CDs from textbooks and many materials made for people learning English, and it just doesn't sound like real English. So it doesn't prepare you for the real world. So try to just expose yourself as much as possible every day to real English. So try to read the internet in English. Try to watch cooking shows in English. Try to read about travel in English. Watch YouTube videos about travel. Anything you're interested in, do it in English as much as possible. And make it part of your routine. If you're walking, listen to English. If you're eating, watch something in English. If you're drinking a coffee, read something in English. Just try to get it into your day as much as possible and keep it up and keep going. And you will do it. And in 2 years, people will be like, what? You only studied for 2 years? That's amazing. Your English is incredible. And that's because you used your time more effectively. So the key ingredient is time. Just keep going and you will get better with time. I promise. Okay. So thank you all for listening. People on YouTube, like and subscribe. Podcasters, please review. Everybody share with your friends, and I'll see you all back here next time.